Found love again with kids in the picture? Let's talk how to create a smooth transition in blending families, if that's possible.
Oh, here to help out is a mom in a blended family herself. Welcome, Chelsie Dort.
Hi, thank you guys so much.
Now, you have been in a blended family for close to a decade, so you know your stuff.
Yes.
This is such a hard thing to navigate.
It really is. It comes with so many moving, complex parts and it's like no one situation is the same. So every family looks a little bit different. Every family has different struggles that are completely separate from someone else, and so that's what makes it so difficult, is that there's no like cookie cutter answer for everyone. So
would you describe the ages of the kids? How many? Who
so
came from?
In my situation, when I got remarried, my oldest was 2. So our oldest is now 11. And then since we got remarried, we've had 4 other children. So we have an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
Oh my goodness,
So,
you two are busy.
Yeah,
Talk to
so
me
busy.
about when a new partner enters the scene. So you already have your established dynamics, you're with your kids. How do they make that transition from just being a good buddy to starting to be a disciplinarian as well?
I think that you need to establish the seriousness of your relationship. And so, you know, when we were dating, it definitely wasn't as serious. Like he was kind of just a friend, and he would play with him, and like my son knew that. They played games together, they played Ninja Turtles, they did all those things. But as we started to get a little bit more serious, then we kind of needed to start integrating that so that he did start seeing him as a parental figure. But I mean, as time went on, you do run into that struggle of like, how do I allow him to become a disciplinarian? How do I allow him to enter these different phases of parenthood that are a little bit more extreme or hard? And it actually, if we're being honest, it took us a long time, because I felt myself being really defensive towards him. Like for my son, nobody else was supposed to get mad at him, only I was supposed to get mad at him. And post-divorce, I had been really easy on him, so it was hard to see him get in trouble anyways. And so, but when you expect certain people to show up financially, emotionally, like, you know, I want him to help him with his homework, I want him to show up at his football games or his basketball games and be a like intricate part of that, but then there are these pieces that you almost withhold almost for yourself. It causes wedges and divides that don't allow you to fully just kind of integrate and be like you would with our biological children.
So what have you found really works in the beginning?
I think that like open honesty about what makes you feel loved and respected and appreciated and seen. Even within the last couple of years, we've had conversations between my husband and our oldest son where it was like, I don't necessarily feel like you see me as a father figure, or that you actually like love and respect me as a father figure. I know I'm not your biological father, but I do a lot for you. And then my son was like, I don't feel like you see that, like, or that you're proud of me, or that I don't. And so having those open lines of communication to where it's, you know, you're having these serious conversations that are sometimes uncomfortable, but we actually have used past journals at home, because sometimes saying it to someone, saying like, I don't feel like you're proud of me, can be very intimidating, especially for children. So we've used a past journal where they write it down and then they go put it down somewhere, and they sit, like that person can then read it and think about it instead of just like jumping into response. And then they can either write back or they can have a conversation about it, but especially like integrating some type of appreciation. So we have them write notes once a week saying, I really appreciate you because of this, or I love this about you. Those types of things have been really helpful for us.
What would you say to a couple who they're in that wedge right now? It's kind of that middle part of the experience where you're trying to release a little bit of the control over just your child. You're trying to let them have a little bit more say and entering their lives, because that's a make or break point for a lot of couples.
It is, and we've been there. I mean, we have had times where we said like, this is not sustainable. This has to get fixed, or it's not sustainable. And something that I would say is that it's so important to look down the road and say, what do I want our family dynamic to look like in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years? Like, what do I want that to look like? What do I want these individual relationships to look like? What do I want our marriage to look like? What do I want your relationship with your stepchildren to look like, etc.? And then ask yourself, like, what is necessary for me to release and let go in order to get to that point? Or what do I need from my partner in order to get to that point? What do the children, because everybody plays a role. The children play a role, you play a role as a biological parent, the step parent. Everybody needs to be able like to pick up and let go in order to get to like this end point of what you want. It's not what you want today, what do you want in the future? What do you want it to look like?
I feel like we just scratched the surface because talking about the kids' dynamic and how they can manipulate the situation, I feel like we can continue that conversation. But for now, if they need advice, you have coaching one-on-one.
I do. So we offer one-on-one coaching, and it's, you know, it comes in multiple different formats, but we do help families integrate a little bit better depending on your individual dynamic and maybe the pain points that you're experiencing as a family. So
wonderful, and 20% off for the coaching as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you saw it here, Thank you guys so much.